Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is Russell with Russell Does Stuff. This video is going to be about covering your time. I'd say 20 years ago, a guy named Bruce was preaching and he was yelling at me about covering my time. And I never gave it any thought. I never looked at his view or his perspective on the subject. Cover your time. What does that mean, actually, covering your time? What time are you covering, So he explained it to me after he calmed down and said, when you get in your vehicle and you're on your way to the customer's house, you need to cover your time. When you get to the customer's house, you need to cover your time. When you're doing a repair or a service, you need to cover your time. Okay? I didn't really understand how that worked because I always thought that if you went to like the supply store and you got supplies for your job, that was on your time. He said, no. It costs money to do the shopping for the supplies and the materials. It costs money to drive out to a customer's house. So a light went off in my head years and years later. I asked myself the same question in my service business. How am I covering my time? Well, to be honest with you, I had no idea if I was covering my time or not. So, where's a reference point? How do I gauge that, So I got to thinking, all right, well, let's say I'm working for someone else and they're paying me $20 an hour. All right. I'll just start there. So if it takes me an hour to drive to the customer's house, that's already $20. Now, how much in fuel did that cost to get there? I always rounded up to $25 for fuel. And you have to take into consideration depreciation on your vehicles and stuff like that. But I'm not a math wizard. So let's just round that up to $35. Okay? So we've got $20 and $35. So before I even get to the customer's house, I have spent $55 trying to get there. Now when I get to the customer's house, I'm going to have to use tools, equipment with fuel, etc. So what's that cost? Let's just round it up to $25. So you've got $55, $20, and $25. So do the math. So I always have a rule of thumb that I use. It costs me $65 to drive to a customer's house and the equipment, etc. costs. That didn't include my time. So let's say I'm at the customer's house 30 minutes. Well, what's my time worth? Is it another $10 or is it another $20? Now I'm at their house performing a task. So I would say I'm worth $25 for 30 minutes. Okay? So, if you go by the average, 65 to get there, what you're charging while you're there, and some variables or whatever. Sometimes you have to charge them for materials and supplies, and then you have a calculation for that. Like when you go to a barbecue restaurant, the sandwiches are always 4 ounces, okay, and then they double that. So whatever their cost is to make a 4-ounce sandwich plus fries and a drink, they have a multiplier. All right. So I wanted to be paid $125 an hour for my time. Okay? I found that was pretty reasonable for someone in a service business. All right? And work off of that. $125 to show up and to do work minus materials. Materials are extra. Okay? So when you have a service guy over to your house, and they automatically, most of them charge an $85 show-up fee. And then they charge you X amount of dollars for the repair, diagnostic fee, whatever, okay? So that was what I was working off of. It was $125 an hour. I knew that if I stayed within those parameters, I would make money and I wouldn't lose money. Okay. If I got to the customer's house quicker, because I'm used to getting there, the traffic was flowing better, the account was easier to take care of, etc. Okay. So if you're, say, like you're doing lawn service, all right, you're at a customer's house 15 minutes or less, if there's no hedges and stuff. Okay. That's about an hour, all right, a month that you're at this house. So you're going to have to try to stay in those parameters and try to group as many customers in a row on a particular route, so you can make up for that customer who's a little further away, and then you get some customers that are closer together. And I found that worked. Sometimes I was making $165 an hour. And for 6 or 7 years, I was making around $165 an hour. Because I took a hard look at the question, am I covering my time? That made me a better businessman. That put more money in the bank. I was now profiting. That's not ripping customers off, all right? I have anxiety about doing that. I don't want to take advantage of anybody, okay? So when I charge somebody $165 a month or $145 a month or $100 a month, some of the $100 accounts are close to $165 account, okay? Some accounts take me 8 minutes to do. Some accounts take me 15 or 20 minutes to do. The ones that are 30 minutes, I charge them more. $200, $225, $235 a month. Okay. I found that if you cover your time, it's like covering your beep beep. Bruce would be proud of me, because I finally listened to him. All these years later, I'm finally doing what he wanted me to do all those years ago. He made me a better businessman. He helped me reach my goals. And he doesn't know it. I'm a reflection of something I learned from him years and years and years ago. And I'm grateful for that knowledge. Cover your time. It's like covering your beep, beep, beep. All right. Well, this is Russell with Russell Does Stuff. And if this helps any of you guys out there, hit the like button and subscribe if you want. I'm just out here relaxing in the backyard after fixing a bunch of stuff today. Got the dogs here with me, and we're in a cool spot under a bunch of trees in the shade. It's been a pretty hot one out today. Well, enough of my gabbing, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.